Press play.
Don't forget to record.
Yeah, I've done it. We're going to start with alternate nostril first. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so if we sit in Sukhasana, we're going to start just with alternate nostril breathing. So everyone here knows that now. So just work with your own pace. So we know that we're blocking with thumb and ring finger. Peace fingers are on the middle of the eyebrows there. Clear everything out, block right and breathe in through left. Block left, release right. Exhale, inhale right. And just continue through in your own breath. A couple of minutes of this will really get us ready to move into the first pose. So put the timer on. And just continue through. So we're just starting alternate nostril breathing, the couple that just come on. Just at your own pace. And start focusing on the depth of the inhale. I say that a lot, but it's really important to get that really deep inhale. And then releasing should be really slow. So never rush alternate nostril breathing. Just really enjoy and take your time with it. Another 30 seconds to go. So start lessening the amount of breaths and deepening the breath. So not as many breaths. And then when you're ready, just release, bring the hands down onto the knees, and then just some deep breathing through both nostrils. So nice deep inhales, fill up the lungs, bring the shoulder blades together. And exhale, roll the shoulders forward. Bring the belly button to the spine, chin to the chest. So just continue. It's that cat-cow movement. But using nice deep breaths. So another 3 or 4 breaths. And then just coming back to a neutral position. Flip yourselves over, we'll come into wide-legged child's pose. But we're going to start on the left-hand side. So come straight out and then just work your way to the left as far as you can, getting that stretch through the side body and holding there. We're going to stretch both sides plus through the center. So just working your way to that side. Just remember, child's pose is really good for relaxing tension. Okay, so if there's any tension in the body, child's pose is really nice for that. We're just getting that twist of the spine, slight twist of the spine, but the stretch of the side body. And when you're ready, come back to the center and just stay in the center this time. Keep pushing those hips back to the heels. If you want more in the shoulders, creep those hands out further. You don't have to. If you want more of a stretch in the shoulders, you can lift the forearms off the floor and keep them off the floor. If you just want to relax in this, bring the forearms and elbows to the floor. You're just seeing what you feel like today. And you can even bring your hands together in prayer and bring them over your head like Jules has just done. It's a really nice stretch. So when you're ready, we're going to move to the right-hand side now and get a stretch down the left. So start focusing on that breath. Enjoy your breath if you can. So start hearing yourself breathe. So today's class, we're really working on an entire stretch of the body. It's not one area we're focused on. Just focus on a few different areas, stretching completely through the body. A nice, calm, relaxed stretch. So when you're ready, coming out of the pose and moving into crocodile pose. So prone position, bring the toes out, heels in, stack the hands and just relax. Another few breaths here. When you're ready, bring your feet together. We're going to come into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Okay, so it's a little bit more intense than Sphinx pose. So what we need to do is bring our feet together, make sure that the tops of the feet are on the floor. So I'll come this way. Tops of the feet are on the floor. And then you want to bring your hands to the side of the rib cage. So hands to the side, squeeze the glutes, bring the forehead onto the floor. But one big thing is bring the elbows in. So you want to tuck the elbows in towards the body. And then slowly just lift the chest off the floor, squeezing the glutes, just the chest. But bring the elbows in and drop the shoulders forward. It's going to take any stress off the shoulders and it'll give you a good stretch through that area. So you don't want tension in the shoulders when you're doing this pose. So elbows in, drop the shoulders forward, just lift the chest off the floor. And just holding there. If you need to go out and come back in, do that. But always squeeze the glutes as you come up. Elbows in, keep squeezing them towards the ribs, keep pushing the feet into the floor. Chin away from the chest. Holding there. So you can stay there if you like in this position, or you can come all the way up. So to come all the way up, squeeze the glutes a little bit tighter, push the feet into the floor, the thighs into the floor, and then push the floor away. So you can come up as where you need to come up to, shoulder blades together, sternum up. So just remember, be in your position. You want the hips on the floor. If your hips are too high, just drop down a little bit, bend the elbows. Squeeze those glutes. Shoulder blades together, bring the sternum and chin up. Beautiful. So every time you bring that sternum up by bringing the shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest, just lengthening through the neck as well, so that you're getting a stretch all the way through the spine. So another 5 or 6 breaths. It's a pretty tough pose to stay in. Should be building up some heat. So now I want everyone to go back to just the chest off the floor. If you've come up higher, just chest off the floor, elbows in. Now just lift that chest a little bit higher. Bring the shoulder blades together, chin away from the chest. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips into the floor. Hold there. Come up a little bit higher. And then exhale, relax. Come back into crocodile pose. That's good. You don't need any movement now. You just need to completely relax. Beautiful. So now I just want you to focus on the breath where you are. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Long, slow exhale. Just continue focusing on that breath, helping yourself up. We're going to flip over and we're going to come into deer twist nice and early today. So you'll really enjoy the full amount of time in this pose. So left knee down, right knee underneath the left foot. Bring your cushion around to the left-hand side and get yourself a really nice, comfortable twist. Work yourself into being really comfortable and just relax in the pose. Okay, so you don't want to be uncomfortable at all, so make sure you bring your cushion to a good spot where you're feeling the twist, but you're not uncomfortable. So just take your time to get into it. So we're really focusing on that lower back at the moment, just to allow it. So child's pose, Bhujangasana and deer twist, all lower back. So we're just coaxing the lower back to open up and relax a little bit so we can move into a few deeper poses. We've got 3 minutes either side here, so it's a really nice, comfortable, relaxing pose. So again, we're stopping a lot of blood through the spine, but mainly through the abdominal organs. So we're going to wake them up. Keep focusing on the breath. Enjoy your breath if you can. So this is a really good pose for stretching the psoas. So the psoas is a really important muscle when it comes to walking, running. It's a muscle that tightens up. It's a long muscle that goes from around about the middle back down to the inside of the thigh. So through the hip. That's why by hanging in this pose for a while, we're really opening up that muscle. So when you're ready, slow, coming out of the pose, moving to the other side. And twisting to the right. So just make sure you got your legs comfortable, how you need to be comfortable. You can't bend that knee, you can have that leg straight out if you like. So there's an option there. And just twisting and cracking. And breathing. So just focusing on that breath. Focusing on the breath is going to help you relax even more. Sometimes, I know When I started learning to focus on the breath, it was actually draining to continually learn to focus on the breath. You'll get used to that and it'll just become more of a comfort thing than a chore or a duty. It'll just be natural. In tonight's class, if anyone's going to be there, it's predominantly just working on showing you a few different ways to focus on the breath. You've got a couple of minutes to go. So you should be breathing nice and relaxed now. So last minute to focus on taking less breath, so the deeper inhale and the longer, slower exhale. So cutting the breath down, the amounts of breath that you take. When you're ready, slowly untwisting. Coming out of the pose and moving straight into Shavasana. So we really want to relax the spine as much as we can. So a good minute in Shavasana. We're going to need good movement in the spine for the next pose. Really nice to see that everyone's getting used to Shavasana. Being dead still is the best way to be in Shavasana, get everything out of that pose that you've previously done. Such an important part of yoga is that rest in between poses. When you're ready, bring the knees into the chest. You're going to roll up to a seated position. Take your time, you don't have to rush. So we're going to come into a pose where we're going to stretch the shoulders, hamstring and hip all in one go, and lower back. Sorry, I forgot about the lower back. So grab a strap if you need. You may need the strap for the shoulder stretch. So grab that, and I'm going to show you the full pose. So it's Gomukho Paschimottanasana. So I always get this mixed up the opposite way. So it's bring out the left leg straight. first. So I'm going to give you options to go through this. So then what we want to do is stack the knees on top of each other. So the right toes are pointing away from the body. Now, if that's too much, just have both legs straight like that and you won't get the hips stretched. That's okay. You want to be as comfortable as you can. Okay, so once you're in that, we're moving into Gomukhasana arm. So it's right arm up, left arm comes under, and if you can grab the fingers, that's great. If not, put the strap or your towel or your belt in the right hand and reach behind and grab. Okay, so once you're comfortable in this pose, the idea is to bring the shoulder blades together, sternum up, and then start coming forward. You're going to get a deep stretch through the hamstring.
Straight tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's left leg straight, stack the knee, because this is Paschimottanasana, so you're getting two poses in one here. That's it. And just relax with that stretch. Just want to make sure you've got comfortable there. If it's too much to come forward, don't come forward. It's better with a straight spine, but eventually you can start pushing yourself forward. And if you've got a bit of mobility in that lower back, you can come more forward as far as you can. You're going to feel that stretch in the hamstring the more you come forward. And that's going to loosen the lower back. And a nice straight spine is always good in this pose. You're getting still the stretch through the hamstring, still the hips stretch, and then you're lengthening through the spine. And that's preparation for coming forward. If you come forward too early without having that straight spine, you're going to dump in the spine and you're not going to get the tilt of the pelvis. So you're actually not stretching the lower back at all. So eventually, I can't do it with this pose, but you can come over the top of the knee and bring the forehead to the shin. It's the full pose. Good. You've got a minute and a half to go, so hang in there. You're probably feeling a really deep stretch in the hamstring, or maybe even in the hip flexor. The left hip flexor could be taking a lot of the brunt too. Again, you're getting that stretch through the shoulders. Really nice, deep stretch. So breath is important, focusing on the breath. Thirty seconds to go. When you're ready, release the arms. Release the legs. You can shake it out if you like, or just come straight into the next side. So right leg straight this time. Try and stack the knees on top of each other. Left toes point outwards as the knees come towards stacking. And it's left arm up, right arm at the back. Gripping, if you need the strap, make sure you put it in the top hand. Get that spine straight. And then come forward if you can, only if you can. Beautiful. It's a bit of a tough pose. It's probably the toughest one of the day, actually, this pose. You're getting a really good stretch. Again, it's one of those poses where we're doing 3 poses in one. So there's a lot happening, a lot going on in the pose. So it doesn't matter where you are, you want to focus on less breath, okay? So normally you take 3 breaths in 30 seconds, just cut it down to 2. Just continue like that, just taking longer, deeper breaths. Yeah, come forward. So got a minute 20 to go. You have a nice rest after this one, and the next pose is really nice on the hips. The hold there is that if it's too much in the shoulders, just let go, like I just have. And maybe just come forward a little bit. Always remember and listen to your body. If it's screaming at you, just listen to it and do what it says. The last 20 seconds. And when you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose into Shavasana as quickly and elegantly as possible. You should feel the relief in that lower back. Just after that pose, it's really nice to get that back straight. So the next pose is just laying where we are and we're coming into reclining twist. So we did this the other day, so just bend the knees up. We're going to drop the knees to the right hand side, so both knees. And just remember, you can place something under there if you're not getting all the way to the ground. You can place your bolster or your cushion or a block. Set with the legs, bring the arms up in the opposite way. And you don't need too much of a stretch. We're actually just trying to get that left hip over. That's the main thing. And just enjoy this position. You don't want to feel uncomfortable at all in this position. Get yourself nice and comfortable. It's just a couple of minutes either side in this one. Just the last 30 seconds. Deepen that breath with a couple of last breaths. And then slowly come up. Moving to the other side, so dropping the knees down to the left. Bring the hands up and over to the opposite side. These hip poses that we're doing now, it's just promoting opening and blood flow through the lower spine and through the hips. So we're not being aggressive with it, we're just relaxing into the pose. A minute to go. So just the last few breaths in this pose now. Then coming up into Shavasana, but just making sure that your strap or whatever you're using close to you. And just relax. So then grabbing the strap, we're going to come into stretching through the hamstring. So it's really important for the next two poses, we need to get our hamstrings right. So hammock pose is the preferred one if you can. That's if you've got a strap that can wrap around your head as well as the foot. If you can't do that or you're not comfortable doing that, make sure that you've got your strap around the foot, bring the toes towards the shins and pull that right leg back so you're getting a deeper stretch. If your hamstrings are really tight, you can still have bent knees slightly, just try and work towards straightening the leg. Okay, so whichever one you want out of that, but you want that leg to come back, you want to feel that stretch in the hamstring. This good long stretch here. Just get in that comfortable position and stretch. That's good. And again, just try and find that stillness. So once you've got that breath and you're feeling the stretch, just be as still as you can for as long as you can. So you've got a minute to go on this side. It's a pretty important pose. If you feel like you're tight around the lower back, this is the pose I would go for. First off, stretching through the hamstrings. So just the last 30 seconds. Focus on bringing those toes more towards the shins and look at straightening the leg as much as you possibly can with that focus on the breath. And when you're ready, switching sides. Just bringing the opposite foot up. This is the tight side for me at the moment, so I can feel really the difference between both sides here. So now just focus a little bit deeper on the breath. Focus a little bit more on stillness. For good mobility in the body, we need positive blood flow. So it's not just about stretching and moving, it's about getting the blood flow up and running with deep stretching. So I've explained this before, but we're getting deep into connective tissue. Once you're in these poses for over a minute, so about a minute 25 it is, you start getting deep into the connective tissue. So that's promoting the blood flow. So you're halfway through now. So now you're getting deeper. You're getting away from lengthening the muscle now and getting into the connective tissue. If you get any shaking in this pose, it's good. It means you're getting deep into the stretch. So shaking is good. The last 40 seconds. So just this last 10 seconds, bring the toes towards the shins, push the heel away, straighten the leg as much as you can. Get deep into that. And slowly come out of the pose, so release, just move the strap to the side. In a really nice Shavasana here. So when you're ready, bring the knees into the chest, have a nice squeeze there, and then roll up to a seated position. I'm going to show the next pose. There's two ways you can do this pose. Depending on how you feel today, how your mobility is, just make sure you watch both instructions. So it's pigeon pose. So to start with pigeon pose, if you want to do the full pigeon pose, is to come into downward facing dog. Stretch through downward facing dog. We'll bring right leg first. So kick the right leg up and bring the knee up behind the wrist. And these toes for the right foot, depending on how flexible you are, is where they'll go. So you can point them to the side, or you can bring them around to the left wrist. Make sure that leg is straight behind. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, come forward. So you can have anything in front of you. The other way is exactly the same pose, but you support it on your back. So we're just bending the left knee up, pushing that knee away, and then coming into thread the needle. So we just come into this pose. So we're pushing that knee away with the elbow as we bring the left thigh in. Okay, so that's your choice. So either the full pose into this, right knee, come around, lengthen, make sure that leg's straight, and then come down. Get yourself comfortable in front. If you want to come down to a cushion, it's really, really nice. So we're stretching through the glute. So you should feel it in the glute. The supported one, you'll get exactly the same effect, just supported on the back. So stretching that way. This is a nice deep stretch, and you'll feel as you get in longer with this stretch, you might feel even a little bit more uncomfortable with this type of pose. So it's more important that the breath is longer, more focused on the breath. You should feel that really nice stretch, whichever version you're in, through the hamstring. So if you're laying on your back and you're not feeling it much, keep pushing that outer knee away and bringing the bent knee closer to the body. Focus on the breath. So you're in for the last minute now. When you're ready, slowly come up. Switching to the other side, so straighten that back leg out. Flick the right leg back. Left leg up, bring the left knee to behind the wrist. Right toes around to the other side. Back leg straight and slowly work your way down, but shoulder blades together, sternum up and come down. And if you're on your back, just switching sides. And just making sure you're pulling that thigh towards the stomach and pushing the knee away with the elbow if you're on your back. Either way you're in this pose, whichever version, you're definitely getting a good stretch through the glute. The one starting off in down dog is obviously a bit more intense the longer you're in it. That's about the only difference. So you're halfway through here. So just in the last minute, so really turn that Ujjayi breath on right now. You've got one more pose just for a couple of minutes after this, so just get that Ujjayi breath really working for you. When you're ready, slowly coming out of the pose. If you're in downward dog, have a stretch there, drop to the knees. We're coming straight into the final pose before Shavasana. So coming down, bringing your legs out wide, which is coming into that forward fold, so dragon fly pose. Get the clock. So legs out wide. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. You should be really open through this area now to start getting a little bit lower. So it's just a few minutes in this pose. Just to finish off that stretch. through the lower back and through the hamstrings. So with this sort of forward bend, deep in hamstring, tilt of the hips, and moving forward and lengthening through the back, you'll progress slowly with this sort of pose because there's a lot happening. You're using a lot of areas that are normally tight. So just bear with it and you'll find one day you'll just get that little bit further and you'll notice it. But I know sometimes it just takes forever to notice that next progression. Doesn't matter how far you get into it, even if you get your hands on the floor, then you move to your elbows, that next section just seems to take forever. So just work through the sections, but focusing on the breath rather than getting to the floor. Okay, so just focus on the breath. And just remember, you know, we all had this flexibility when we were younger to get a little bit deeper into all these poses, and it's taken us a long time to stiffen up. So it's going to take us a long time again to get back into that process of having a little bit more mobility. So be patient and enjoy the journey. So the last 25 seconds. And then slowly, slowly coming out of the pose. Just going into the final pose, Shavasana. Oh, that one hurt. You should be feeling that blood flow once you get into Shavasana. Get comfortable, get relaxed. That deep stretch in the glutes, lower back, hamstrings, hips. You should be feeling that area now. A little bit of a buzz, a little bit of relaxation there. And just enjoy allowing that blood flow. You always need at least 2 minutes at the end of a class at least. If you can have 20, that's great, but 2 minutes at least in Shavasana. So breath is the focus of the week for me. So I'm going to get you just to focus on the breath while you're in Shavasana. So focus on inhaling deep and just feel the air come through the nose, through the nostrils. And then when you exhale, just slowly release the exhale, like there's a bit of a blockage there. Just slowly, slowly releasing. And deep inhale. And slowly, slowly release. So next time you inhale for 4 seconds. So you're just counting to 4. Not fast, just nice and slow. And then when you release the breath, count to 6. So continue that count, 4 to 6. So now you're going to replace that count with so hum. So inhale so, exhale hum. And the reason we say so is there's 2 letters, 2 seconds per letter. And the reason we say hum on the exhale, 3 letters, 2 seconds per letter. So 4 and 6 breath. So hum. So hum. And even saying so hum, mentally that hum is just like Brahmari, changing the vibration. So hum is a beautiful way to relax, beautiful way to focus on the breath, a beautiful way to finish asana practice. So hum, so hum, so hum. So now just for the last minute, just stop the so hum and then count the breath from 21 back like we do in Yoga Nidra. So inhale 21, exhale 21, inhale 20, exhale 20. And just work your way down to 0. Just remember there's no mistakes when we count like this. So go back to 21 and start again. You lose your place. So just cease counting now. Just go back to so hum. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. So hum, so hum. And now just completely feel the relaxation in the body. The whole body, just feel the whole body relax. Now while you're laying in Shavasana, again, just giving yourself that thanks, that praise, for dedicating this time and just progressing in your yoga practice, progressing in your health and well-being. Just thank yourself for that time. Send off a gratitude to someone in your life right now. And then start wiggling the toes and the fingers, rolling to the right hand side when you're ready and coming up into Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose. Bring the hands into prayer position. Just taking your time. Everyone looks so chill, it looks really nice. So thank you all for dedicating this time to yourself. Thank you all for being here so that I could lead you through this class, and it was such a pleasure to be able to do so. And I hope you all have an amazing Monday. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. A little bit over, but I just saw how relaxed you are, so just wanted to keep you relaxed. Thank you, guys. I'll just unmute you. Thanks. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, Ray.
Everyone looks
Yeah,
really,
bye.
really yoga-fied.
I feel it.
See
See
you
you,
all later.
girls.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.